They're going to do one more. They're going to do one more song.
Hey, while I get situated, how about a hand for these amazing kids? They literally have been rolling since Friday, playing our homecoming pep rally, the game, and this event too, and they're absolutely amazing. Speaks to our outstanding department. I saw Mr. Tiberio here somewhere. Lay some credit on them, but it's such a treasure for us to have. They play literally every event, so thank you so much, guys. We appreciate it. So good afternoon. My name is Bob Clark. I'm the extremely proud principal here at Fairport High School, and I want to welcome you all here to Fairport High School. And welcome to the Alumni Wall of Fame induction for the class of 2017. We are honored to be here with you today to celebrate some very special people to our Fairport family. As a teacher and an administrator for almost 25 years now, it never ceases to amaze me the different paths that our students take. Their accomplishments, as you will soon hear, have profoundly impacted our Fairport community, our state, and our nation. As most of you know, the perennial challenge of Fairport schools is our quest to make something so large feel small. The tie that binds us is our conscious decision to be invested in the same Fairport family. We are so proud to call you Raiders. Thank you for being here this evening and adding your collective experiences to the ever-expanding and exceptional history of Fairport. Before I pass the mic to our chairman, Mr. Davis, we wanted to give you a quick update on the actual Wall of Fame. Over the last year, our building has undergone significant renovation, which has impacted location of the wall. And fortunately, it's provided an excellent opportunity for us to address some space issues and modernize the displays in the hopes of preserving this institution for quite some time. Unfortunately, the work is not complete. However, we know the finished product will be something everyone can be proud of, and in the interim, we will display the plaques in a temporary space, and we invite you to visit us again soon when it's all complete. So thank you very much. Mr. Davis?
Thank you, Mr. Clark. My name is John Davis, and I'm chairman of the Wall of Fame Committee. But I'm also a teacher here at Fairport High School. For 22 years, I taught social studies, so I've had many of your kids along the way. And I just got to say, wow, what an awesome turnout today. And I want to thank all of you for coming. I know many of you have come from different states and different parts of the country, and there's so many family members here. I just couldn't be more pleased. And we're very, very proud of our class this year. As you can see, it's large. I just wanted to let you know that doing things just a little bit differently this year because the Wall of Fame's under construction with the new electronic board. And I want to thank Principal Clark. He's been very instrumental and very helpful in supporting the Wall of Fame and the direction that it's going in as we're going digital. Not quite completed yet down there, but I wanted to invite all of you right now. At the end of the ceremony, there'll be a little reception down by the auditorium, which is just out this door to the right and down the hall. We've got some food down there and for you. It's a great chance to take some pictures. So thank you. One of the things I'm most proud of, because we've been doing the Wall of Fame here at Fairport High School for over 2 decades, and we have nearly 90 members of different classes on the wall. If you look inside the program, you can see towards the back all of the different inductees over the years to the Fairport Alumni Wall of Fame. And the wall itself is not a popularity contest. What it is a way to reach out and say thank you and honor graduates of Fairport High School that have gone on to do amazing things with their lives, whatever field of endeavor they chose to pursue after graduating from Fairport. And let the current kids know here at Fairport High School that whatever field they choose to go into, that they can be successful and reach for the stars. Speaking of the students, I can't wait for you to meet them today. And I'm going to invite up Bryce Embling first, who will be inducting Ralph Bone. Bryce was a student of mine last year, and he's a very energetic kid. He runs cross country. He's a very serious student, and he's excited to present today. So Bryce, come on up.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2017 Fairport Alumni Wall of Fame inductee ceremony. Our first inductee this evening is Ralph Bond, an alumnus from the class of 1909. He was born on February 22nd, 1891 in Fairport, New York. Ralph Bond, pardon me, I've been struggling with this name for a long time. Ralph Bound's parents were Gardner and Bertha Bound, and he had two siblings, Lawrence and Bruner. His father was the owner of the George Bound wagon and carriage manufactory in the village of Fairport. Ralph Bound received all of his education in Fairport schools and graduated from the Fairport Union School and Academy on West Church Street in 1909. Ralph Bound went on to study at Cornell University, where he received a bachelor's and a master's degree in mechanical engineering and a doctorate in philosophy in 1917. Further, Dr. Bound also served as a professor of physics while at Cornell. After receiving his doctorate, Dr. Bound enlisted in the Army and moved to New Jersey. He was stationed at Fort Monmouth and served as a captain in the United States Army Signal Corps. In the Signal Corps, Dr. Bound served as the head of the Radio Laboratories and Technical Department, where he led the development of the vacuum tube. Dr. Bound joined the Development and Research Department of AT&T in New York City in 1919. At AT&T, Dr. Bound specialized in radio broadcasting and ship-to-shore communications. Dr. Bound devoted the majority of his work to aspects of radio broadcasting, including overseas telephony and microwave radio relay systems. He was responsible for the transmission studies carried out by AT&T, one of which established limits for transatlantic radio transmitters. Dr. Bound also directed the New York-Boston Radio Relay Project, which became the first link in the transcontinental radio relay system, and he also helped to engineer the transatlantic cable. Further, in June of 1948, Dr. Bound led a press conference announcing his invention of the original transistor. Dr. Bound also wrote numerous articles related to his field, including the article on the American Broadcast System for the 1929 edition of the Encyclopedia Britannica. In 1941, Dr. Bound traveled to England to study radar. While there, he served as a division member and a consultant to the National Defense Research Committee, as well as a consultant to the United States Secretary of War. Throughout his career, Dr. Bound was awarded 40 patents in the field of radio and telephone communications, with arguably his most famous being for the television remote control. Dr. Bound continued his work at Bell Laboratories until his retirement in 1956 as Vice President of Research. Besides his military and research career at Bell Laboratories, Dr. Bound was a fellow of the Institute of Radio Engineers, which awarded him the Morris Libman Memorial Prize in 1926 for his research into the wave transmission phenomena. The institution also awarded him its Medal of Honor in 1948 and its Founders Medal in 1961 for his leadership in the society and his many major contributions to the field of radio and communications. Dr. Bound also served as chairman of the Patent Office Committee and as chairman of a Technical Advisory Committee on Electricity and Electronics to the National Bureau of Standards. According to his grandson, George Bound, Ralph Bound was a very easygoing and laid-back person. He further described him as having a great outlook of life. He lived by the motto of study hard, work hard, and make the best of yourself. George also told me that Ralph was a true family man who was called Father Bound by his family. Ralph Bound was very humble and did not fully realize all the great things that he accomplished during his life. Ralph was also an avid sailor and swam 3 to 5 miles daily off the shores of Cape Cod. George has many memories of spending time with his grandfather, including swimming lessons off the coast of Cape Cod during summer vacation and hunting down in Texas. In his later years, Ralph was quoted as saying, "I have a young mind and an old, decrepit body." Ralph Bound passed away in 1971 at the age of 80 in Newark, New Jersey. He was survived by his wife, Alma, sons Ralph Jr. and James, and 9 grandchildren. While researching Ralph Bound in preparation for this speech, my veneration of him and his work has grown significantly. I believe that Ralph Bound is worthy of his induction into the Alumni Wall of Fame due to his military service, his major contributions to the field of radio, and his model character. Accepting this honor is his grandson from Dallas, Texas, George Bound. And so, it is my honor to introduce to you the newest member of the Fairport Alumni Wall of Fame, Dr. Ralph Bound.
Great job.
I just wanted to thank everybody for this event. It's very worthwhile. Ralph would be very happy, and you guys are doing a great job here. Thank you for the hospitality.
Our next presenter is a student, Tiffany Robinson, who's a senior here at Fairport High School. While I never had Tiffany as a student, every time I saw her over the last 2.5, almost 3 years, walking down the hallway, Tiffany lights up with a smile, and she's just such a positive kid. She's not a kid anymore, but, and I reached out to her and I said, "Tiffany, would you like to be part of this?" She said, "Absolutely, Mr. Davis," and she even was trying to draft some friends to do this, so I want to say, introduce you to a wonderful kid, Tiffany Robinson. Come on up.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Robinson, and it is with great pleasure and opportunity that I have the privilege to introduce and speak on behalf of Ann Dokes this evening. I would first like to take a moment to thank Mr. Davis, as well as the remaining Wall of Fame committee members, for seeing the light, passion, and dedication within unique individuals and acknowledging the triumph in their achievements. Ann Dokes was a graduate of the class of 1980. During her time as an honor student here at Fairport, she was a 4-sport varsity athlete, partaking in sports such as softball and basketball. Sports, to this day, have always remained a prominent aspect of her life since childhood, where she recalls all of the neighborhood families playing outdoors together. When asked about a role model, Ann without a doubt replied her mom, a mother of 5, whom she admired for her way of balancing work, staying engaged in her children's lives, and being supportive of all of her athletic endeavors. Ann profoundly remembers 2 former teachers of hers who have made a lasting impact on her outlook on education, character, and morals. She would like to highlight Dr. Catherine Perez, whom she created a strong bond with and continues to stay in touch with after all these years. She would also like to highlight Mrs. Betsy Exner, an honors English teacher who made writing interesting and promoted individuality. Ann is a big advocate for thinking of yourself, and strongly believes creativity should be rewarded, which she feels both teachers truly embody. She lives by the mantra of surrounding yourself with people that are smarter than you, as there is always opportunity and room to grow and learn. After graduating high school, Ann attended the University of Rhode Island on a Division I volleyball scholarship. She finished out her college education at St. John Fisher College, earning a bachelor's degree in political science. While there, she was elected president of the Political Science Organization, She was also a member of the Pharmacy School Advisory Board and coordinated programs such as Model UN, amongst other educational activities. Anne never fails to give back to her community and is grateful that Fairport has shown her the value of family and what it means to be a team. As a testament to this, she coaches the Fairport Little League Challenger Division, a program that allows children with physical and mental challenges the enjoyment of baseball. Anne has volunteered in its World Series since 1994. She's also a current member of the current board member of the Fairport Dollars for Scholars and served as president between 2010 and 2012. A few of her substantial achievements include holding the role of the corporate director at Bausch and Lomb, the executive director of Pfizer Pharmaceuticals, the largest pharmaceutical company in the world, in which she was honored as Colleague to Watch in 2005. And finally, she remains as the current Chief Information Officer at Patient Identification Platform. She is also very grateful for the opportunity to be the first to develop the first fully digital electronic submission of primary investigators to the FDA. Anne has accomplished this and more, all the while being a breast cancer survivor. Empowered by this part of her life and very understanding of therapeutic needs, she, along with patient IP team, have developed a platform allowing patients to be enrolled in clinical trials. She was awarded for this by Microsoft in 2016. In spite of everything that Anne has accomplished, she states that her biggest accomplishments include being a proud mother of 3 and marrying, and I quote, the most amazing man in the world. With an adventurous spirit and a humble heart, she's deserving of all that she has and will accomplish. So, it is my honor to introduce to you the newest member of Fairport Alumni Wall of Fame, Ann Dokas.
Great job. Oh, my God.
Great job.
Tiffany, this is what you would give her.
Great job.
Great job, Tiffany. Our next presenter is Teddy Sharman. He's a senior here at Fairport High School. And Teddy was a student of mine all last year in U.S. history class. And wow, what a stand-up young man. I just can't say enough good about Teddy. Every assignment he did was just flawlessly done. He's quiet, he's humble, he's very laid back, very down to earth, enjoys sports, plays basketball. And I can't wait for you to meet him. Teddy Sharman.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Davis. That was very nice of you to say. I'm here to talk on Mr. Felker's behalf. So John Felker graduated from Fairport High School as a part of the class of 1974. After his years at Fairport High School, which he attended all his years from elementary school up through high school, he attended Ithaca College. Here he obtained his bachelor's degree. In 1978, he was awarded the Top Scholar Athlete Award. In 1994, he attended Syracuse University, where he earned his master's degree. His career after Ithaca College and Syracuse University was very impressive, and includes being a 30-year active duty U.S. Coast Guard officer, where he held 3 commands, 2 afloat and 1 major shore command. He represented the U.S. Coast Guard as first exchange officer in Australia. He has been recognized for stellar leadership of over 3,000 Coast Guard volunteers. He is a recipient of the Defense Superior Service Medal, 2 Legion of Merit medals, and 2 Merit Service medals, among other awards. He was the key driver in standing up U.S. Coast Guard signals intelligence capability afloat and ashore that yielded significant increases in narcotics seizures and arrests. He is the plank owner in the establishment of the U.S. Coast Guard Cyber Command as Deputy Commander. He was selected for senior executive service as the Director of National Cybersecurity and in the Department of Homeland Security, where he is currently serving today. In just over a short 18-month period in this position, he significantly improved operational effectiveness in defending the nation's cyber infrastructure, He also reorganized an HR process that increased employee retention and satisfaction. John has had an extensive career in the U.S. Coast Guard as an officer and in cybersecurity. He has served as a co-chair in the Intelligence and National Security Alliance, as member of the Cyber Council and the Cyber Intelligence Task Force. He has also been involved in 6 publications involving cyber intelligence and computer security. Actually, one interesting thing about John, outside of his career in the government and in the Coast Guard, is that he has been a college basketball official for over 30 years in at least 8 different Division II and III conferences, and he remains active as a ref today. Fairport is very lucky to have amazing graduates that go on to have such successful careers like John has had in the Coast Guard and in government. And so it's my honor to introduce to you the newest member of the Fairport Alumni Wall of Fame, John Felker.
You did great. Thank you.
Great job.
Congratulations. Great job, Teddy. Our next presenter is Jason Tabbitt. He's a senior in my senior politics class. And Jason's got a great personality, too. He plays in band, and he's just got so much going for himself. Jason, come on up and introduce your inductee.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. So I'll be introducing you to Dr. Joseph Fornieri. He graduated from Fairport High School in 1983, and then immediately after, he attended SUNY Geneseo to earn a bachelor's degree in political science. After graduation, he originally planned on attending law school, but he decided to take a year off first. He went to Europe, and he traveled as a musician. He played guitar, and he sang in pubs and bars from England to Italy. He played in Spain and Greece, too. Upon his return to the United States, he decided that rather than attend law school, he would like to pursue a career as a professor of political science. After earning a master's degree from Boston College and a PhD from Catholic University in Washington, D.C., Dr. Fornieri returned to the Rochester area to teach. He originally started out at Bishop Kearny High School, and then later he moved to Rochester Institute of Technology, where he is currently teaching in his 17th year. In high school, Dr. Fornieri was a self-described class clown, as well as the president of the student council, which he revived. He was a member of the Block F fraternity, a nose guard on the football team, a wrestler, and the winner of the talent show his senior year. Some of his most memorable moments were the Block F scavenger hunt and playing against Aquinas at Holliday Stadium. He played in the Little Brown Jug games each year, and his role models growing up were his family members, who he described as very loving and close. He also requested that I give a special shout out to his best friends of 35 years, Kevin Kettlefomo. Did I say that right? Okay, my bad. Tim Garman and Craig Delancey. When I asked about the inspiration for his career, he had 2 experiences in high school that he feels really helped shape his career trajectory. In 11th grade, he participated in a mock Congress activity, and he enjoyed it a lot. And it helped him realize that politics might be a good career for him. And he also had AP US History with teacher Dave Allen, who he feels really sent him in the right direction for what his career would be. Dr. Fornieri currently lives in Fairport, lives in the village, and in addition to his work as a professor, he is an author. Since 2003, he has published 5 books about Abraham Lincoln, and I asked him about why he has such a keen interest in Lincoln in particular, and he responded that he views Lincoln as a model statesman, a virtuous leader of the common good. He particularly admires Lincoln for his responses to the questions of religion and politics and morality and law. A talented musician, he plays in the East End Drifters with his brother. They're a really good band. You should check them out sometime. His favorite venues to play at include Fairport Brewing Company, B-Side, and the Towpath Grill. He also currently serves as the director of the Center for Statesmanship, Law, and Liberty at RIT. When I asked him about his proudest accomplishments, he told me he's most proud of being a dad, being a husband, being a teacher and a scholar, being a brother, being a friend, and being a good citizen. One final thing, here's the advice that Dr. Fornieri gives to current students at Fairport High School. Engage those great ideas, bring passion to everything you do, and always color outside the lines. It was a pleasure to get to know him. He is truly a remarkable person and an all-around nice guy. And so it is my honor to introduce to you the newest member of the Fairport Alumni Wall of Fame, Dr. Joseph Fornieri.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Great job, Jason. Thank you. Leanna Pasella is our next presenter, and Leanna has so many students in this school that just think the world of her. When I was reaching out for student presenters, so many kids came to me and said, get Leanna, you know. And I don't mean to embarrass you, Leanna, but she's just got just a huge heart. And Leanna Pasella, if you would come up, please.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. All right, before I begin, I would like to extend my sincere congratulations to all the inductees today. Congratulations to all you. You definitely deserve this. My name is Liana Posella, as I said before, and I will introduce to you Stephen Marsh, class of 1993, to the Wall of Fame. Upon first meeting Mr. Marsh, he was very kind and had such a welcoming personality. While he was a student here at Fairport High School, he was the class president, varsity soccer captain, part of National Honor Society, played keyboard in jazz band, and sang in polyphonic mixed choir. This is extremely impressive. Trust me, I know how busy schedules can get around here. Mr. Marsh also loved math, Spanish, AP Physics, and digital design. A small fact about Stephen is that he and a few of his friends were in a rock band that played for charities and also played at some school events. The band was originally called Marshall Waters, but then later simplified to Mawa. Yeah. He loved all of his teachers at FHS, and some of his favorite teachers included Mr. T and Mr. Baines. Mr. Baines taught English for many years and then ended last year. When I asked him how he felt about coming back to Fairport after so many years, he was very happy and quick to reply that he loves that Fairport still has so much pride in their school and has such a community involvement. After graduating Fairport, Stephen attended Syracuse University. After changing his major many times, he graduated SU with honors and bachelors in both information management and technology and economics. After graduating from Syracuse, he was given a job at Fidelity Investments in Boston. He then met his wife, Mary, at a Boston versus Syracuse game. She at the time lived in New York City. Stephen then got a job at .com and moved to Brooklyn. While living in New York City, Stephen lived through the 9/11 attacks, and he said he could see them through his apartment windows, but luckily him and his wife were both okay. His job at .com was not doing very well since the company was not getting many investments, so he took matters into his own hands. He started working on his own project called Smarsh Inc., which would soon become one of the leading suppliers of archiving and compliance solutions for over 20,000 companies worldwide. Stephen then moved across the U.S. to San Francisco, where Smarsh Inc. opened their first office, which they quickly outgrew. After a few years, Stephen and his wife moved to Portland, Oregon, which is now the headquarters for Smarsh. And years later, they're very successful, like I said, worldwide with many offices. When Stephen was asked about what his greatest accomplishments were, he was quick to respond, his family, his wife Mary and his 3 children, David, Nick, and Georgia. He is very proud of his children and all that he and his wife have accomplished. Yes. Another accomplishment is that he is still very close with his parents, older sister Lori, and younger brother Dan, who still live here in Fairport. Even though he lives far away in Oregon, his relationship with his extended family is still very close. His third accomplishment is his company. He started out without any loans or investments. He made it on his own and created it during a troubled economy. To end this, I'm going to tell a very enjoyable story about one of Stephen's memories here at Fairport. During his last school pep rally as a senior, he and his friends wanted to crash the pep rally. They included the band into this plan as well. They all dressed up and came out of different corners of the gym and met in the middle. The band stopped playing their song that was scheduled and started to play YMCA. His friends all met in the center of the gym and started a flash mob. Naturally, the crowd of students went nuts and danced along. That's such a great memory of Fairport High School. And so now it is my honor to introduce to you the newest member in the Fairport Alumni Wall of Fame, Mr. Stephen Marsh.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Mind if I just say a couple quick words? So I just want to say very quickly, thank you, Liana, for preparing that. It's amazing how a quick, casual conversation turned into something that was a beautiful story of my life, and thank you for making me sound pretty decent. Also, just want to say thank you to my family for coming out here today, and a special thank you to my good friend Mike DeMay for nominating me for this and thinking highly enough of me and my accomplishments to go through the hard work and effort to do all that. And lastly, I just want to say that it's an honor for me to be included in the Wall of Fame and to join Mr. T, who I don't know if he's still here, but he was an inspiration to me, still is an inspiration. I was fortunate enough to have him as an instructor for several years while I was here. And also to join my uncle, Don Ferraro, who was very influential in my life, and a man who was influential in his, Vinny Canale. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Leanna. Great job. Being an upstate New Yorker, I thought I was the biggest Buffalo Bills fan in the world, but I found one that's even bigger. Tracy Bush, as she once was known, our next inductee, you might remember from our news as the sportscaster for many years, 10 years, and then Wham TV. I don't mean to embarrass her now, but her presenter, Maddie Yendo, is a great kid. I don't know how she has time to even breathe. She's doing so many activities here at Fairport High School. She's an actress in the school play. She's on the girls' varsity volleyball game, and I could go on and on about the list of things she's doing. And Maddie, why don't you come on up and we'll meet you. Madison Yando, senior, Fairport High School.
Woo! Okay. Hi, I'm Maddie Yando. I just wanted to give a congratulations to all the inductees. You all are really great people from what I can tell so far. And I'm really excited for you. So, it is with great pride that I introduce Tracy Mezier. Tracy lives in Atlanta with her husband, 2 stepchildren, and her dog Mickey. She graduated from Fairport High School in 1988. While at Fairport High School, Tracy took AP classes, from which she received 18 college credits, was a member of National Honor Society, and graduated with a Regents Diploma. She was also the sports editor for the school newspaper, also known as the Lampion, the statistician for the boys lacrosse team, and was very passionate about cheerleading. It is obvious that Tracy was drawn into the sports world. In fact, her love of sports came from her dad, who was a phys ed teacher and the sports coach for a variety of different sports teams. At Fairport High School, Tracy decided to use the knowledge she had gained from being around her dad's teams as an inspiration for the rest of her life. She attended Syracuse University, where she received a degree in broadcast journalism. Following graduation, she continued her desire to work in the sports world. Tracy spent 10 years as an on-air news and sportscaster. From 1996 to 2006, she returned home to Rochester, where she was a sports reporter and anchor at the R News and Wham TV. Tracy also hosted a segment of the Buffalo Bills TV show. She was awarded the regional Edward R. Murrow for sports reporting. She was the first woman to receive the Rochester Press Radio Club Sportscaster of the Year award and was the first woman to receive the Monroe County American Legion Baseball Reporter of the Year award. After leaving TV, Tracy became a career in public relations and marketing communications. Currently, her clients at Jackson Spalding include Mizuno and the Atlantic Braves. She has helped open the new College Football Hall of Fame and will be working on the 2018 College Football National Championship game. Tracy serves on the board of directors for the Naismith Trophy, Sunshine on a Rainy Day, and Sandy Springs youth football and cheerleading teams. Tracy has an impressive resume and, as you can see, has had a very fulfilling life that has been committed to supporting others to be their very best. So it is not a surprise that her husband nominated her for this induction. Throughout her years, she has continued to break the boundaries that exist between men and women. She is an intelligent, strong, independent woman whose goal is to make our world a better place for all. I would consider Tracy a leader of change. She has helped to break the stereotypical career barriers that exist between men and women, fueled by doing what she loves, being in the sports world. She's an inspiration to all who meet her, and I am hoping that one day I too will follow in her footsteps of change. And it is because of this that it is my honor to introduce you to the newest member of the Fairport Hall of Fame, Tracy Mezier.
Awesome job.
Great job, Manny. Congratulations.
So y'all know you can't give a sportscaster a microphone, right? Without letting me say something. So we were all told we weren't supposed to say speeches. But I have a lot of people here today. In fact, I'm getting a little choked up because Fairport High School meant that much to me. I loved high school. I loved what y'all did for me. Coach Santini, Mrs. B, my cheerleading coaches here. You guys made me a better person. And Fairport makes me so proud to be a Fairport graduate and to represent you all, so thank you.
Thank you, Maddie, and thank you, Tracy. Our next presenter, Taylor Atkins Lewis, is a total stand-up girl, and I can't wait for you to meet her. Come on up, Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Davis, and congratulations to everyone. Good evening. My name is Taylor Atkins Lewis, and I have the honor of inducting Mr. Jim Murphy into the Fairport High School Wall of Fame. This Red Raider is beyond special, not just because of his talents that he's been blessed with, but because of how he uses them to bless others. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "Make a career of humanity. Commit yourself to the noble struggle for equal rights. You will make a greater person of yourself, a greater nation of your country, and a finer world to live in." Mr. Murphy has lived by this in making sure that he gives a voice to the voiceless. I met Mr. Murphy yesterday, and I admit I was nervous meeting a person who has accomplished so many things. I mean, he's being put in Fairport's very own Wall of Fame, and then there's me. The closest I've ever got to a wall is my grandma's wall, and as a picture on the wall next to the living room. So how do I approach him? How do I talk to him? Thankfully, he made a wonderful experience with his welcoming and humble spirit. We started to talk, and quite frankly, my life has been changed forever. Let me tell you about the man that I met yesterday. Mr. Murphy graduated Fairport High School in 1986. He attended SUNY Brockport with a bachelor's in psychology and followed by attending Columbia University Graduate School of Business with an executive leadership certificate and nonprofit management. He has a certification in Master Project Manager and is a certified playground safety inspector. He has spent over 30 years working for children and with children, youth, and families, including group homes, counseling, therapeutic foster care, detention, and many more. He recently ran a statewide New York membership agency for after-school program providers. He has set many standards of national after-school accreditation systems, and he also has been recognized as one of the top 25 most influential people on the field of after-school by the National After-School Association. He has received President's Award by the NARA. He's a part of the National Committee member for Child and Youth Care Certification Board. He's involved with numerous committees involving with children. He has served 17 years with past 14 years as co-chair of Fairport's Puritan Chemical Prevention Advisory Council, also known as CPAC. That helps reduce the use of drugs used by youth. Jim Murphy also served 8 years in the Army Reserves and serves as the treasurer of Fairport Girls Softball Booster Club. He's a busy man. Being a man of great accomplishments, I asked him, what keeps you motivated and what were your biggest accomplishments? When answering the question about the accomplishments, he said, my 4 kids. 2 are still in Fairport High School today, and 2 are in college. 1 at Clemson University and 1 at Southern Oregon University. And both of them had full academic scholarships. And he was saying how he is very aware of how his career has been able to impact many others outside of people that he's never met before. But the same thing that he fights for and try to preaches outside of his home is the same thing that he teaches his children. He practices what he preaches. And as far as what keeps him motivated, next to Starbucks and coffee, he said he's a doer. He learns by doing. But how did he get such characteristics of using what his visions and putting them into reality? He can blame Fairport. He says he thanks Fairport for that. Sorry. He got his characteristics such as courage and maintained it through life, through the foundation that Fairport had provided him with teachers that he met, such as English and his coaches in track and field. In all, Mr. Murphy just wants to have a positive influence. He has never looked at his career as just a career, but a lifestyle. It's what he does. He told me something yesterday that stuck. He said, don't be afraid to try different things and fail. And that stuck with me, because I want to go into a similar pathway with working with children as a family attorney, and I would fail along the way. But if I can just have half of the courage, half of the noble heart that he has, I will be just fine. With the man that he is today, not only has he touched others, but he has touched me. And I thank you for the moment that we had yesterday. You have honestly changed my life forever. And with that being said, we need more people in the world filled with passion, love, and dedication. And we thank you. Congratulations. It's my honor to introduce to you the newest member of Fairport Alumni Wall of Fame, Mr. Jim Murphy.
Congrats, Jeff. Taylor, what a great job you did. Wow. I want to thank so many members of the Pomponio family who are here today. And thank Bruno for sitting in your brother's seat. And introduce you to Brennan O'Connor, our next and final presenter. Come on up, Brennan.
Hello, everyone. I have the distinguished honor to introduce you all to Mario Pomponio. In 1935, at the age of 9, Mario Pomponio and his family left Italy and came to the United States. The Pomponio family settled in Tuckahoe, New York, until a family member died and they moved to Fairport to help. During his 4 years in Fairport schools, Mario immersed himself in various activities, sports, and his education. Mario was awarded the Harvard Prize his junior year as the outstanding student in his class. During his senior year, he led the basketball and baseball teams, which earned him the coveted Sportsman's Cup. He was elected president of his fraternity and treasurer of the Student Association, worked with the Fairport Rotary Club as the community's junior Rotarian, and managed the school's yearbook committee. Mario's extensive list of involvement and achievement at Fairport was culminated with him being named the valedictorian of the class of 1944. Patriotism was so rampant throughout the United States in the 1940s that shortly after graduating high school, Mario wanted nothing more than to serve his adopted country. As a result, Mario joined the military and was sent to Fort McClellan, Alabama. After a brief Christmas leave in Fairport, Mario was sent overseas. On January 29, 1945, he joined Company E of the 7th Infantry in France and was immediately thrust into battle. The squad was badly depleted by casualties, and only 5 men remained. At dawn of Mario's second day with Company E, about 60 Germans attacked, supported by tanks and automatic gunfire. Greatly outnumbered, the crew of Americans withdrew to position in an abandoned house behind a 6-foot-high stone wall. The men were trapped, and their options were few. Without saying a word to the other 4 men, Mario took matters into his own hands. He charged out of the house as enemy gunfire erupted around him and vaulted to the top of the stone wall. His one-man attack surprised the German machine gunners, who he quickly dismissed with a few accurate shots of his M1 rifle. As tank and mortar shells exploded around him, Mario sprinted toward a second machine gun nest and again with his M1 eliminated the threat. As gunfire continued to fill the air, Private Pomponio charged across the courtyard to an adjacent barn and incredibly overpowered the 10 enemy soldiers inside who became his prisoners. Unfortunately, just 2 short days after Mario's brave heroics, he tragically died in battle, paying the ultimate sacrifice for his country. It's clear that Mario earned the admiration of his peers in the military. For example, in a testimony a few months later, Charles Bloom, 2nd Lieutenant, noted that Mario was as brave a soldier as I have ever known. His company and his battalion can never forget what they owe to him. Private Robert Mitchell shared that Mario was a great soldier. None of us will ever forget him or what he did for us. Company runner Alfonso Darchi was also moved by Private Pomponio's act of courage, stating, "In the 4 days he was with us, he became a legend. I have never known a braver man." In the fall of 1945, by direction of the President, the Distinguished Service Cross was awarded to Mario for his courageous acts in France. For me, the love and care displayed by Mario and the entire Pomponio family stood out beyond Mario's laundry list of achievements. To illustrate, the Pomponios came to Fairport initially to support a relative after their spouse passed. Throughout his childhood, Mario helped his parents that didn't speak English navigate their new home. While in the Army, Mario sent a letter home to his family every day. While speaking with Mario's brothers and their families, I learned that Mario once stopped a baseball game while he was in center field because his 5-year-old brother had a bloody nose. So Mario stopped the game and ran over to help his younger brother, which shows just how caring Mario was. Mario truly was the ultimate family man, and he set an incredible example for his younger brothers to follow. Mario was a perfect role model and a true inspiration to those that knew him. While talking to the Pomponio family, I could sense the pride and the love that Mario's family has for him and how special of a man he was. Altogether, I'm truly humbled to speak about a distinguished American hero that above all else was a great, caring, and loving man to all that knew him. Mario's brother Bruno is here to accept the award on his behalf, and so it is my honor to introduce to you the newest member of the Fairport Alumni Wall of Fame, Mario Pomponio.
Folks, the class of 2017, wow, amazing. Congratulations, everyone. Well, that just about concludes our ceremony for today, and I want to thank so very much the students. How about a big hand for our kids here who presented today? I want to thank again all of you for coming today, and a shout out for Bill Perret, the town historian, who's done so much for the Pomponio family. Just want to invite you all. There's a reception down by the auditorium. A lot of changes going on here in Fairport High School for renovations. I'm going to ask for a couple group photos here, and then we'll down below take a quick shot with you and your presenter. And congratulations, everyone, the class 2017.